welcome to Everybody Whispers. I'm your host, Adam Elliott. Today's episode is sponsored by Lexapro for laundry. Do you suffer from anxiety, but only when you are doing laundry, or you see how much laundry you need to do, but can't seem to calm yourself enough to actually do it? Presenting Lexapro for laundry, the only Lexapro on the market for people like me, like us. Guys, laundry is stressful. We all know that, but this drug is safe, and it will help calm your nerves when you need to do laundry. Side effects include a regular stress-free laundry routine, and that's it, just that. So, Lexapro for laundry, today's sponsor. I am delighted to be joined by Dan Smith. Dan is a singer, songwriter, and New York City legend, and some might say a cultural icon as well, who might best be known for his widely seen posters promoting his teaching of guitar. We're here to get to know the man behind the poster, as well as Dan's approach to his music, which can be found across all digital platforms. Dan, welcome to Everybody Whispers.
Thanks for having me, Adam. This is quite a gas.
It is, and I'm so excited to have you here. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you over the last couple of years in New York. I grew up seeing your posters around New York, and then you started following me on Instagram and liking my memes, which are kind of like posters. So that became like a real full circle moment for me, which was like, I've been liking this guy's posters for 30 years, and now he's liking mine. Full circle moment.
Well, it was easy because I thought all the stuff you're putting up was funny.
Thank you. But, you know, you're more than just a face on a poster. You make incredible music, and a lot of people are starting to recognize that. And there was something that you mentioned in an interview you did with the New York Times that I want to ask you about.
Okay.
You said that music is a lot more than just putting your fingers on the strings. It's telling a story, it's creating a mood, it's evoking an emotion. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think it goes in a way even deeper than that, because one of the things that I've always tried to impart to my students and try to aspire to in my own life is that there's really no difference between who you are and the music you make. And I think that the part about, telling a story and creating a mood just grows naturally out of that. One of the things that was a big influence, or continues to be a big influence on my music, is my experience as an actor. Because I've always been taught and firmly believe that the goal of any actor is to get you to forget about the fact that they're acting. And so I think it's the same thing with music. The job of any musician, any performer and singer, is to get you to forget about the fact that you're listening to a song. And so all those ideas of telling a story and creating a mood and evoking an emotion are really kind of built right into that. If you think about any song, whether you actually like the song or not, it's a good song will take you to another place, will get you to forget about what the chords are or whatever. And so that to me is what I'm always going for. And while I try to always develop my abilities as a guitar player, my main goal is really to feel something.
And is that something that you think when someone starts learning guitar, and I'm sure that you teach folks who have some prior experience, but also some people who are just like brand new to it, how long does it take generally, or is it always different, for one of your students to kind of have that breakthrough of like, well, it's not just about the mechanics, it's about the feeling? At what point do you start to see that really coming through?
That's a really good question. It's different for everybody, and what we're talking about is something that can take a long time for somebody to really actually allow it in themselves. They can see it in other people, they can appreciate it in other people's music, but to kind of have that moment where you're really, you're not not self-conscious, and you're really feeling that sense of like touching infinity with your music, can be a long time. Sometimes it can take years, and it takes a lot of faith and persistence and patience, obviously, but also I think it's very important, and this is a really underrated aspect of what it takes to learn music and to make music. You have to be playful, and that's what I really try to teach my students to do, is to be playful. You know, I teach a lot of people who are very serious. They have like pretty serious jobs, lawyers and doctors and politicians and all kinds of people, and they're very high functioning people, but they have difficulty very often just like being stupid in the right kind of way. Because if you think about anybody whose music you like, they have a playfulness to them. So it's different for everybody is the answer to your question, but it usually takes a while.
If someone had told you 35 years ago that today, after coming to New York City, you would be this literally world famous guitar teacher.
Oh, I don't know about world famous. That's very generous of you.
Well, people all over the world know you in a way
Some do, but yeah.
based on some of the parodies, which
That's true.
okay.
Yeah, no,
but
there's a lot of parodies.
let me put it this way: you've landed yourself somewhere into the cultural zeitgeist. Would you have believed that 35 years ago coming into New York City?
I don't think I would believe you if you had told me that I was doing it this way. I didn't really foresee this in many ways. My teaching, I kind of saw it initially as just a way to make a nice living and develop myself. But no, I didn't really see it happening this way, and it's still developing. It's still happening. But I had a vision for myself that I would make an impact one way or the other, and whether it was with my music or with acting or with teaching, I knew that I wanted to try to find a path that was going to be authentic to who I am, and hopefully different than what everybody else was doing. And so in that way, I feel like I've definitely begun to achieve that.
Something I know we've talked about is, I'm sure over the years, since you've had your posters widely disseminated around New York City, a city full of crazy people, you've gotten some crazy phone calls and messages.
Yes.
Can you enlighten us to perhaps one or two of the craziest ones you've gotten?
Well, let's see. I'll start with the sort of dark side.
Okay. We like dark here.
Yeah, sure. So this is the dark side. I had most of the crank phone calls are really kind of harmless and, goofy and weird. But there was one guy who called me for a long time who was like pretty openly saying that he wanted to kill me.
Okay.
Excuse me. And he was pretty persistent and really crazy sounding and disturbing, to the point where, and this happened in two different time periods. The first time was in the 90s, to the point where I started to record them, and this is how I remember that it was in the 90s, because I recorded it on a cassette. And I brought that cassette to the local precinct because I was that concerned about it. It's like, I don't know, what are you really going to do about it? But I just wanted there to be a record of it, just in case, they find me in a ditch somewhere.
Right.
Nothing ever happened.
Right.
But eventually he kind of faded away, and then about 15 years later, the same guy started calling me again with even more intensity, and he would call me, a couple times a day, and it got, it was really annoying, but also disturbing, and I would always just hang up, because he would call, and it would be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I'm gonna rip out your tongue and shove it up your ass, and motherfucker, I'm gonna rip your dick off, and blah, 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 blah,
Same guy.
Same guy.
But 10 years later.
15.
So maybe he had gone to a loony bin and then got out.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Who knows? If it was somebody who was meaning for it to be a prank call, they were seriously committing to the bit.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, the way I shut it down is my favorite part of the story. I don't know if everybody else is going to think it's interesting, but a very wise friend of mine said, because I was starting to get a little concerned about it again, he said that you should just pretend, like the next time he calls, that he's actually calling you for guitar lessons. You should pretend to be happy to hear from him. And so the next time he called, I picked up the phone, and he was like, "You motherfucking asshole, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna rip your head off and kill your whole family, blah, blah, blah." And all I said was, "Oh, hi. I'm so glad you called. Did you want to talk about guitar lessons?" And he immediately, all he said was, "Fuck you," and hung up. And I never heard from him again.
There you go. Kill him with kindness.
Kill him with kindness,
Kill him with
baby.
kindness, everybody.
It's a great lesson, and it's a cliche for a reason.
Okay, so you've had some creepy / crazy people, but you've also had some really wonderful experiences with students, and one student in particular who I know that has been said publicly that you're his teacher.
Yes.
Is Governor David Patterson.
I know, yeah.
Has called you. He said he's a psychiatrist. He said, "I've always been someone who thinks that to make up for the difference, I have to be in a hurry." So I think what he's saying is that you really take your time with your students and you really give them a space to not just play music together, but you sometimes will spend half the session just talking.
Well, I need to. They need to. Because I take my time, but the reason for that is because the main thing that keeps people from making music is they just go too fast. And I don't just mean they try to play fast. I mean that they're going too fast in their mind. And so that I came to realize that after years of just constantly telling my students, try to go slower. Try to do it slower. If you do it slower, you're gonna get it. You'll learn it faster. That's the irony of going slower. That's the paradox, I should say. So after 5 or 10 years of constantly telling everybody, slow down, easy, slowly, slow down, and seeing the results of the people who do that and the people who don't, I just built it into my teaching.
At the Tribeca Festival, New York Nico asked you, Nicholas Heller, asked you to open for a screening of his short film, I believe.
Yes, me among other people, but yes.
And what was that experience like for you? You got to play your song "New York Forever," which you wrote during the pandemic.
Yes.
So that must have been a pretty cathartic experience for
Oh,
you.
it was amazing. It was definitely, for me, it was the biggest audience I'd ever played for. There were about 2,000 people there. And, for me, I play in, like, bars around New York City at this point. And so that was just really cool. And it was a beautiful stage, amazing sound, and the same stage that whatever Taylor Swift had appeared on the night before.
Speaking about films,
Yes.
You currently have a documentary being made about you.
Yes, a great filmmaker named Sergio Camacho approached me a few months ago, and he wanted to initially do a short film that he called an artist portrait about me and my music and my songwriting. And he didn't know that much about me. He knew me from my flyer. But as he started to interview me and learn more about me, he decided he wanted to make it a feature-length film. So I was okay with that. And so we're gonna be doing. We're shooting right now. We shot a show that I put on at Bar 9 on 9th Avenue, which
I was there.
You were there, which was a great night. We had a wonderful turnout, because up to that point he was just shooting me and performing at like open mics and that sort of thing. So we wanted to do something that would have like a fuller audience and be like a real show. So that was a great experience, and the governor introduced me there.
What I like about the documentary documentary and what I like about starting to see what's going on with you, what's percolating with you, and the music that you're making. People are starting to really see that you're not just the guitar teacher on the poster. You are a person, an artist, someone with a voice, with something to say. And I think look, I'm sure that you appreciate the publicity of some of the animated shows that have parodied you. It's been good for your marketing, good for your promo, but I'm sure that it's rewarding for you to start seeing yourself move past that and to start to be recognized as the artist who you are.
I appreciate that, Adam. Yeah, and that's been one of the kind of, it's a nice dilemma to have for everybody to know who you are. But the dilemma has been that people have seen me over the years as just a great promoter. And the reality is that's been kind of just a means to an end for me to promote, obviously, my teaching, but also myself as an artist.
We are delighted to have our very first musical guest on Everybody Whispers. Dan Smith will be playing a song for us. Take it away, Dan.
Thanks. This song is called The Day We First Met, and I'm playing it unamplified because I figured that would kind of go with the show.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just do the short version of the song. On the day that we first met, I knew that you and I could never be, but I never will forget how I felt the first time you looked at me. But I haven't said anything yet because I don't want to let you see. 'Cause I can't feel how it's all gonna go. And I don't want to hear you say no. Besides, I've been around long enough to know if the feeling was mutual. From the day that we first met. 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 It's really just for show when you say we're just friends. And I agree, and I'm gonna let you go and move on. I guess it wasn't meant to be, but I'll always hope that I was wrong and that you were into me. But it's not worth driving myself mad. Because you can't lose what you never had. Besides, I knew I'd just end up sad, 'cause I could tell from the day that we first met. 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 Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, Dan.
That's a song about feeling so insecure that you don't even get into a relationship in the first place.
I've been there, brother.
Everybody whisper, everybody whisper, everybody whisper.